Engineering is something that I found out existed at a fairly early age, and I thought that's what I'm going to do. I had the opportunity to study in Paris, and that exposed me to French pastry, and it's there that I really became enamored by the beauty and the craft of French patisserie. I'm used to trial and error. I'm used to, taking an experiment and doing it 50 times to make it right. So this idea of doing something and failing at it and doing it over and over and over again and very rigorously perfecting it is like innate to me. Now, throughout my time in California and at Hopkins is when my husband and I started doing a lot of entertaining. We would do a lot of large parties. He would do, the meats. I would do sides, desserts, appetizers. And it was during my postdoc at the NIH that I had the bright idea, I can do 2 careers. Why don't I open a shop while doing my postdoc? I live here on the hill, on Capitol Hill in DC. A spot opened up just a few blocks, and everything seemed to gel, and that was kind of the what led to the opening of the Sweet Lobby about 5.5 years ago. As a small business owner, I kind of had to decide where to place most of my energies. A lot of people ask me, wow, so you were in biomedical engineering, you were developing like vision, saving technology. That seems so honorable and so needed. And sort of how do you decide then to go into baking, As human beings, we're created with one main purpose, and that is to glorify God and to do that in whatever sphere we might be in. For me, I think Colossians 3:23 really came to mind, and that's whatever you do heartily as for the Lord rather than from man, knowing that from the Lord you will receive an inheritance, for it is Christ the Lord whom you serve. So this idea of whatever I was doing, that I should be doing it heartily and for the Lord. So do you want to set up the experiment that we did the other day?
Yeah.
Do you remember how to do it?
This one.
Okay. What else do we need? Being a business owner, you certainly work all the time, but you do get to set your own hours somewhat. I'll have a couple hours off in the morning to take my child to school. I think that flexibility was attractive. As a believer, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, that has to be my faith. So it kind of governs my priorities. It's tricky because it's far easier said than done, because we're so driven in this life by what is visible, what's easily around us, that we seldom naturally consider what Christ would have us do. As a Christian, there's a few considerations that you have that perhaps someone who's not a Christian would not have. I think the concept of grace, is something that as a Christian you understand. So for me, that's been a huge part of how I manage. I started to consider what a business really meant. It meant a community where you can provide employment for folks. You have the opportunity to do something else that I love, which is to mentor young people. I think when I look back at people who have been with us for, some of them, 3-4 years, it's just amazing to see that transformation through mentorship and through providing opportunities. And so I think it's important to think through bringing glory to God and how best you can do that, whether it's pursuing ministry or pursuing another career.